Hello everybody, Cooper here and welcome back to another episode of the AFL Management Career here on AFL 23 with the Adelaide Crows. I hope you're all doing very well today. Today we kick off Season 1 with a match up against the GWS Giants in GWS, in Greater Western Sydney, I suppose. We are sitting top of the ladder in alphabetical order. That's something, isn't it? My goals and aspirations for this season is to finish somewhere not in the bottom of the ladder, but not quite in the top 8. That's sort of where I'm aiming for. Anything above there is a bonus, obviously. It goes without saying. But if we could go in the top 8 somewhere, that would be very nice. I'd love to do that. But we're going to click on next. We're going to select the lineup. Hopefully we don't have any injuries, and Rory Sloane is already injured for this season. I don't know what the injury is. He's the only injury, so we need to bring on, probably going to be Seedsman, I reckon. He's going to go there, and then we need a sub. Who's going to be the sub? Midfielder, Lockie Shull can do the job. That is fine. We should probably check out what the injury is. Hamstring strain, he's only going to be out for a week. That is fine. We can deal with that. So we're going to go next. We're going to simulate the game. Hopefully we can win. First game of the season. Let's get a victory. We lose, unfortunately, by 23 points at Giants Stadium. They kicked very inaccurately in the first quarter. 2 goals 8 in the first quarter. We were only down by 6 points at half time, but they kicked 7 goals to 4 in the third quarter, which really blew the game out a little bit. Toby Green was probably best on with 43 touches and 2 goals. Matt Crouch did a bit with the ball, but Michelini did kick 3 goals, so that is something to keep an eye on. He is a key defender, so I don't know why he's kicked 3 goals, but I suppose that's still good to see our players playing well. We'll now have Richmond for round 2. We'll have a quick look at the fixtures from round 1. Richmond did beat Carlton by 17 points on the traditional round 1 game. Geelong beat Collingwood by 17 points. West Coast beat North Melbourne by 32. Brisbane beat Port Adelaide by 7. Sydney did beat Gold Coast by 16 points. Western Bulldogs beat Melbourne by 31. GWS did beat us by 23. Hawthorn beat Essendon by 39. And Fremantle beat St Kilda in Melbourne by 17 points. So quite an interesting round 1. We sort of, not an ideal start to the season, but we would obviously like to do a little bit better. Now our only other ruckman, Riley O'Brien, is now injured. That is fantastic. We might put, I've lost Strawn. We'll put Strawn in the ruck. He can play ruck duties. I do not want Michelini being a backup ruckman. I take that off of him. We'll keep everything else the same. Phil Thorpe, probably not ready just yet. He is good, but just not quite there. Rory Sloane is probably going to need a fitness test, I'm assuming. He needs a fitness test. I have been told about these fitness tests, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him. But that brings us to round 2. We've got a home game up against Richmond at the Adelaide Oval. Richmond do have a good team, but can we get a victory? We do. We win by 27 points. We're up by 39 points at half time. We 8 goals to 3 in the first quarter. And then just maintained a positive lead for the remainder of the game. Will Hamill picked up 39 touches. Seedsman got 36, as did Keys. Michelini got 34, with Fogarty, Rankin, Seedsman and Keys all getting 2 goals. Prestia was the leading ball winner in the game with 44 touches for Richmond. And now we have the showdown. Port have had a similar start to us so far. They lost their first game, then won their second game. But if we look at the fixtures for last week, we'll see that Geelong beat Carlton by 30 points away from home. Melbourne beat Brisbane in Brisbane by 13 points. Port beat Collingwood by 14 points. We won our game. Fremantle did beat North Melbourne by 20 points at home. Western Bulldogs beat St Kilda by 26 points. Hawthorn did beat Sydney in Sydney by 21. Gold Coast absolutely smashed Essendon by 66 points, and GWS beat West Coast away from home. So Hawthorn leading the ladder. That is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying today, funnily enough. Now we should be able to bring Rory Sloane back into the lineup. It says Lockie Murphy is injured. So we might bring Rory Sloane in for him, if I can find Rory Sloane. And we'll move Seedsman back to the bench. We might stay, apart from that, unchanged. I do like the lineup that we have. Let's continue on. Hopefully we can beat our rivals Port Adelaide. It is going to be a hostile environment. We do have the away fixture first, and then we assume play them at home later in the season. So let's simulate. We have been beaten, and beaten soundly. We lost by 41 points in the end. We didn't score enough. We only kicked 6 goals for the whole game. Not very good. Michelini kicked 2. Rory Sloane got 38 disposals, but Dersma got 52 disposals in what is a very dominant fixture for them. Let's move on from this fairly quickly. We'll have a look at the rest of the fixtures for the week. We'll see that Western Bulldogs did beat Brisbane to start off round 3 by 4 points. Collingwood beat Richmond at home by 40. North Melbourne beat Hawthorn by 30 points. GWS in a close game beat Carlton by 5. Then that was our game. Essendon won against St Kilda away by 31 points. Gold Coast beat Geelong by 26. Melbourne won against Sydney by 40. And Fremantle beat West Coast in the derby by 29 points. We now have the, hopefully, there's a lot of injuries. Why are there so many injuries? We've already got to bring in Brodie Smith because he's injured. So we've got to find another defender. Patrick Parnell can do the job at halfback. Whoops, I've switched out the wrong player. Okay, we've made a few changes. I've brought in Michelini to play at full back. I'm also going to not have him as a backup ruckman. I thought I'd already done that, but hopefully that will actually stick now. I've also sent Michelini to full back. Murray's gone to the bench. I brought in Will Hamill to play in the back pocket for Duday, and Parnell is going to play at halfback for Smith. So apart from that, no other changes. Hopefully, Riley O'Brien's still injured, which is annoying, but we do need a backup ruckman. So that is going to be something that we will look for in the off season, but we will deal with that when the appropriate time comes. Fremantle are currently top of the ladder. They are unbeaten at the moment. Hopefully we can remedy that and get our first victory at home this season. And we do. We beat them quite convincingly, actually. It was 42 points at 43 points at halftime. We end up only winning by 33, but a really good game from the boys. Kicked 7 goals to 1 in the first quarter. And we just maintained the lead once again. Seedsman got 37 disposals. McHenry kicked 3 goals. And we just beat them all over the park. It was fantastic. That moves us up into 10th place. If we have a look at the ladder, currently 2-2. We're just under 100% in terms of our percentage. But we could go as high as 6th should we get a good percentage. So that's something that we're obviously going to be working on. But we've got Carlton this week. It's the gather round. We've obviously got a home game, which would be fantastic. Carlton did lose their first 3, but they then won their next game. So that is obviously something to keep an eye on. But if we have a look at the fixtures of last week, Brisbane beat Collingwood by 9 points. Carlton beat North Melbourne by 37. We won our game. Western Bulldogs beat Richmond by 22 points. St Kilda beat Gold Coast at home by 5. Port Adelaide beat Sydney away by 23. Essendon beat GWS by 12. West Coast beat Melbourne by 28. And Hawthorn and Geelong had a close encounter, with Hawthorn winning by 9 points. Final match of the episode, we are going to be doing the gather round. we now have another injury on our bench. Who we're going to look to bring in for Thilthorpe? We need a key forward. I know just the man. Where is he? Himmelberg. He's going to be coming to the bench. Oops, just there. If I can do it all correctly. There we go. We're going to confirm the lineup, but before we do that, we're going to have a quick look at our roster, just have a look at the injury situation. So Thilthorpe has a concussion. He's going to be out for another week. Hinge is out inactive with a bulging disc at the moment. That is not ideal. Brodie Smith's going to come back after a fitness test, so he should be back next week. Duday has a stress fracture in his foot. He's out for another 10 to 11 weeks. And Riley O'Brien has a groin strain. He's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. So we've got the gather round. We should be winning this game based on our ladder positions. But hopefully we can do something with this result. And we lose a close game by 8 points. We were up all game, only to lose it at the end, unfortunately. They kicked 5 goals in the final quarter to 2 to turn that around. Season again with 41 touches, 2 goals. But we just couldn't get the job done, unfortunately. So, yeah, we got to move on and look to the next game. And while we do that, we'll look at the fixtures. We had the Friday night game, it looks like, or the Thursday night game. Then Fremantle beat Gold Coast by 4 points at home. Swans beat Richmond by 13. Brisbane absolutely smashed North Melbourne by 51 points. Melbourne beat Essendon by 14. Western Bulldogs beat Port away by 56. West Coast beat Geelong by 57. GWS beat Hawthorn by 21. And Collingwood beat St Kilda by 23. So as things stand, we're currently sitting in 12th. We could be doing a little bit better. We've had a few close games, unfortunately, but we should be looking to turn that around in the future. What I am surprised with is the start the Western Bulldogs have gotten off to. They're currently sitting 5-0 at the top of the ladder with a percentage of 140. That is ridiculous. So we're going to be trying knocking them off their perch at some point. But obviously we'll be looking to push for a final spot this season. Hopefully we can. If not, we can go into the off season and hopefully pick up some good players in the draft. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys then. Bye.